Yeah, we use it on Hefeweizen for our wheat beers. What is it?
Wheat.
No, it's barley.
Right.
No, this is barley. And it's meant to say social. Okay. If that had to be barley, then this has to be. Yeah, this is
Hops.
Hello, Chicago. While you're running this barley, don't tell your dumbass. This barley right here, many barleys in the field, actually. In fact, everybody, I would like you to raise your hand. So you put a hand in the air, raise your hand. Raise your hands. Now, slow back and forth. Now you're the barley in the field. Yes, Samir, feel the wind in your grain. And now, prepare to be cut up and slowly roasted. That's what happened to this barley right here. The first ingredient we use in its purest form is this. This is the pale-faced malted barley. We use this in every single one of our beers. And I'm lying. We don't use this in our gluten-free beers. Our gluten-free beers use brown rice and sorghum extract. That's actually against an old 1500 German law about what can be in a beer. To legally call it a beer. That law requires barley in the recipe. When we started selling our gluten-free Pilsner, or barley, we got a cease and desist letter from the federal government telling us to stop selling it. We said that's a stupid law. They said, okay, we will. And they did change it. We have the first federally recognized gluten-free beer in the whole country right here. That's right. If you don't believe me, it's on the wall. That's right. But our regular beer, we use this pale-faced malt. We go through so much of it. We get 50,000 pounds shipped here every week and a half. That's what's in these bags behind me. All these bags get emptied into that big white tank right there. That's the BAS, the big ass silo. Okay? Big ass silo is filled up, then fed into a machine under the stairs here behind me. That's called the grist mill. The grist mill is like a series of rolling pins, cracks open the barley, sugar. Now that ground up barley is called grist. And that grist goes up these two steel tubes right here. That's the chain bay. And the chain bay is the deference of the brewery. Oh, I heard a biology student over here. That's great. Well, for those of you who fell asleep in Mr. Trader's class, or if you went to Catholic school like me, you didn't learn anything about the reproductive system. I'll tell you why it's all the mass deference. So, chain bay, aka mass deference, carries the sweet seed all the way to the tip. Alright? It emerges explosively from the tip into an oval-looking structure. Right? You can tell our seed the yellow seed. Alright? That's how it works. Great. Now let's go see what we just impregnated. What am I talking about? Well, follow me this way. It's 50 brewer's barrels. Perfect. We set the grain directly underneath it into this silver tank. This is the mash tun mash mixer. That's where we add ingredient number 2. And that starts with an H. What is it? Hot water. Yeah, we throw hot water into the mash tun. Now we got our next step towards beer. Now we got a super sweet liquid. It's called wort, W-O-R-T. That wort has a bunch of barley in it still. We gotta get it out. So we send it to the other silver tank, the one right next to it. That's the lauter tun. The lauter tun's a glorified coffee filter. We send the wort through. It takes off that spent barley. We actually sell that used up barley to local farmers for animal feed. So yeah, we have the happiest cows in the world here in Wisconsin. Second to India, perhaps. Our cows are still happy too. But yeah, all you out-of-towners, your cows hate themselves. Anyway, we send the word then up overhead and then down into this big copper kettle right here. This copper kettle is our brew kettle. This was built in 1964 in Bavaria, Germany. It was used at a German brewery, of course, until they closed and they auctioned it off. We actually outbid Dogfish Head Brewing to get this kettle. So yeah, if you've had a Dogfish Head beer, it wasn't made in this kettle. No, it's all ours. This kettle right here is super important. We boil up the wort, it's all hot. Ooh. And then we throw in the next ingredient. What is it? Confidence is waning. Yeah, it is hops this time. You're right, no talking. We throw in the hops. Why do we use hops in beer? Well, hops are about 95% of the beer's flavor. They also preserve the beer. They give you the nice foamy head on top. Hops do so many different things for the beer. The hops we use don't look like this because these are plastic. Hops we use look like this. They're like little pellets. We get them from the Pacific Northwest. 90% of our hops are from like Oregon and Washington. Sometimes we grow our own. Very rarely, they're kind of expensive. It's been really climate for it. But so many different styles of hops. They've been crossbred for millennia at this point. They're delicious, they're aromatic, they're beautiful. Fun fact about the hops, maybe someone can answer it for a token. Does anybody know the closest known relative to the hop plant? Oh! That's right, he raised his hand, I'm giving it to him. Wait, you already got one, didn't you? Did you get a token yet? Oh no, you said the porn thing. Yeah, poor old guy gets a token. All right. He said cannabis, he said weed, the stinky icky, the ganja, jazz cabbage, devil's lettuce, whatever you want to call it. And guess what? He's right. That's right, dude. You get a token for token, man. Here you go. Yes, weed is another one of our favorite things here at the brewery, as you can probably tell. Now, we, of course, do not live in a legal state, however. Raise your hand if you live in a place where you can legally buy marijuana. Yeah? Oh, sweet. I'll see you guys after the tour. That's great. You know what? As I said, this is an illegal state. It's because Wisconsin has something called the Tavern League here. They're kind of the liquor mafia. They kind of run the bars here. They're the reason they don't want any competition for the bar scene. That's why you can't buy beer past 9 o'clock at the grocery store, but you can stay at the bar until 2:30 in the morning because they'd rather have you drive home from the bar than stay home with your cup. I'm gonna talk about it. We love our weed, we love our hops. People do ask me, can you smoke hops like you smoke weed? Of course, you can smoke whatever you want. It's not gonna do anything, you can smoke it. But big difference between hops and weed. You can actually overdose on hops. People know that. Yes, if you smoke too many hops, you will pass out and wake up as a Lakefront Brewery tour guide. So, that's the second best joke on the tour. Now, anyway, we love our hops, we love our weed, and they both go right in there, into the brew kettle, okay? That's also where we would throw in any specialty fruits or specialty ingredients for whatever beer we're making, 90% of the time. Sometimes we put it into the fermentation vessel behind me, but most of the time it's gonna go in the brew kettle. So, now the wort has a bunch of stuff in it, and it's hot. We gotta cool it down, take off all that particulate. So we send it into that machine over there. That's the whirlpool. The whirlpool is where I take my Christian mingle dates after work. Just kidding. Never been on a date. No, whirlpool takes off the particulate. It also has a heat exchanger inside. That harnesses the heat for future boils. We also use that heat to power our kitchens. So yeah, we're a certified green brewery here. Yeah. And then we send the wort to its final stop. All these tanks behind me. All the tanks behind me you see are fermentation vessels. We have 32 varying sizes. That's where we add yeast. Yeast is the final ingredient. And it's a living organism. It eats up all the sugar. It reproduces through a process called budding. And it becomes just like a tour guide after work. It gets very bloated and farts out a bunch of CO2 and pees out a bunch of alcohol. Yeah. That's what the warm, bready smell of a brewery is. It's a collection of yeast farts. And the beverage you're all drinking, that's yeast pee in its purest form. The key takeaway from brewing, brewers make the wort, yeast makes the beer. Everything before fermentation only takes about 6 hours. Fermentation itself can take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. Depends on what beer you're making. That's why we have so many fermentation vessels and not so much of this, because it's so easy to get it in there. But then we just gotta wait for the yeast to do its thing, peeing and farting, having sex with itself. And then it will settle down at the bottom of the tank when it's all tired and sleepy. And that is a big cuddle puddle called flocculation. When the yeast is flocculating, we can take it out and we can reuse it for future batches of that beer until eventually it will kill itself off with the alcohol it produces, just like a Lakefront tour guide. And that's how you get your finished beer. Speaking of finished beer, that's an empty cup, empty hands, empty cup. You got a lot to go, bro. Come on, drink up, man. Well, for everyone who's empty-handed, empty cups, do you guys want to go get some more beer? Yeah. You guys want to get some more beer?
Yes.
All right. We can do that. Follow me this week.
Dapat pala may baso. Dapat pala may baso tayo.
It's okay.
Bibigyan tayo ng sample.
Hindi naman lahat may dala eh.